Marky Worthington Podcast all day.
All day.
Dream by night.
Don't buy me a drink. Just give me $10.
Oh, dude, you look sweet. Yeah, you got a big beard, dude.
Go down to the strip club with your floppy disk and turn it into a hard drive.
Yeah, right. Thrown out by Big Tony.
We're here to name names and make people feel more ashamed for shit that they're not proud of.
Me and my best friend, Marky Worthington.
Whatever it is.
Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the Marky Worthington Comedy Podcast. This is episode 123, Lucky 123. It's a callback episode to the first time that I ever had Benny Eggmolesse on the show. So this one was recorded at the start of 2020, like February, just before the Deadly Funny state final that Benny MC'd. So that was cool. We recorded this during the day, and then that night I went and watched him MC the Deadly Funny state final. And yeah, it was a really good night, really good episode. It was cool to listen to the stuff that we've been talking about in this episode in hindsight, because this is like nearly 5 years ago now. So yeah, I hope you enjoy listening to it as much as I did, reflecting back on it. And also, if you are listening to this soon after it comes out, remember that we have the first ever live episode of the Marky Worthington Comedy Podcast that'll be recorded at the Baso on the 29th of October. So come and check that one out. You can reserve seats on my website, markycomedy.com. And hope everyone comes out. It'll be a great time. We've got Kai Fei on the show, so it'll be the first ever live recording with Kai Fei, so or ever, but especially good way to kick it off with the homie. So thanks for tuning in, and let's get into the episode and hope to see you out live. Cheers.
Callback episode.
A good callback.
Callback.
Hello and welcome to the Marky Worthington Comedy Podcast. This is episode 12 and I'm joined here with Benny Eggs. How you doing, man?
Hey, good brother. Thanks for having us. I'm excited. Pumped.
Yeah, it's good to have you on the show, dude. We've been kicking around the scene for a little bit, and I've had a couple other of our mutual friends on the show. I had Kai and Bill on the show before, man. It's good to have you here.
Fucking man, glad, man. It looks like you're working your way through the crew comedy cats, man, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's it. We just got to get Jacob Keed and we should be right.
Yeah, mate, you'll have all four of us there, mate, and you'll be the most fucking diverse podcast in all of Canberra. How about that, mate? Yeah.
I'd like to do something maybe down the track where we have like all four of you and do like a video thing.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man. That'd be great because like for us, Aboriginal comedy is really unique, you know. It's similar to when you go into America and you look at the way, I guess, the African Americans and the Black Americans joke about their own community, their culture, and it can be pretty intense, you know. It's the same with Aboriginal people, man. Like the way that we joke, the way that we relate. You know, I do a joke, and this is where I was kind of my signature joke when I was starting off, and I was called Kung Fu Benny, and I was talking about how like my mum used to like flog me, and all my elders used to flog me so much that I developed my own kung fu, you know, and how you dodge broomsticks and jug cords and belts and all that shit, man. But there's white people in the audience who were like, oh my God, where was child safety when this was happening? You know, like, where's family services, you poor thing? Whereas black fellas in the audience are like, motherfucker, that was Tuesday for me, you know. You know what I mean? So we have a really unique way of joking about our upbringing that's kind of different and awesome.
Yeah, man, it makes for good content, man. We've seen a bunch of shows coming out with the Deadly Funny and all that sort of stuff, and that's always good, man. It's good to get that extra side of comedy. A lot of the time, like you said, this unique content, stuff that's relatable, you know, stuff like that, man. And part of comedy is being relatable. And if you didn't grow up like that, you might not understand it. But then you have like four people in the crowd that will like that was their childhood, and they're rolling around laughing. They know exactly what it's like.
Yeah, and you want to like, you know, we have things that are specific. Like, you know, we have things like treaty, and we have a past with our Commonwealth, and that's a tragic and traumatic, and there's still stuff we still got to deal with today as a result of kind of like constitutional recognition and treaty trying to get the government to sign. We do occupy 51% of the juvenile detention centres. We occupy 26% of the fucking adult population, but we only make up 2.8% of the population. Why can't we talk about this? We have a whole bunch of things around the forced removal of like children being removed from the care of their parents at an astronomical rate even today. So we have these really extreme statistics in our culture and community, and although they're not joking matters, it produces, I believe, that in that upbringing, that militant black upbringing, it produces this style of comedy that we can talk about the extreme stuff, man, and find it funny.
Yeah, well, a lot of the time, there might be comedy in extreme situations, or another thing that happens, and I've seen this a lot in the scene, is people use comedy to deal with situations that aren't so easy to deal with.
Yep.
It adds an extra element to it as like a coping mechanism.
Yep.
So obviously if you've got like issues in your past, things like that, and then you bring it onto the stage, it's kind of like therapy for some people, man.
Man, for me, was comedy origins for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't that I was just like a mad funny prick, For me, it was just like I need an outlet for the pressure. I need an outlet for this. And people are like, you're pretty funny, man. You're pretty funny. I was like, shit, maybe I should just do stand-up. I mean, I grew up idolizing stand-up comedians and then thought, shit, why don't I try it? And roll the dice. It just happened that our worlds collided and it worked.
Yeah, well, where'd you start stand-up? I know before you came to Canberra, you were in Sydney before.
Yeah, so I've been doing stand-up for many years now, 6-7 years. Mm-hmm. So started in Sydney, origins for me, and I went into a competition, and all the audience had to vote on who won. So my business brain clicked in and made sure that majority of the audience were people I knew. So you know what I mean? And so I like to say that I won, but I wouldn't say that I won fairly. But I went on there, did a few rounds, won the competition, and I think that I was funny as well. But it just kicked off from there, and then there were promoters there who kind of said, hey, I like your stuff. Do you want to come and do a show? And then after about a year, I realised, shit, I'm going to have to grind at this and work and figure out how to write funniest stuff. Because times change. What I used to joke about back then, I can't joke about today. That's a significant thing. Comedy is an organic, moving thing that you need to understand what's trending, the times, be in tune, be woke, understand the super woke community and those who are just fucking ignorant, rat's tail looking dudes who have pretty extreme right wing views.
Yep.
And understanding those and working in the grey areas is the real skill, man.
Yeah, well, that's it, man. It's like it's very fluid with the way that it works.
Yep.
And like you said, man, the rat's tail is not a very fluid hair choice.
No,
it doesn't move with the times.
No, bro. Listen, straight up, man. If you got a rat's tail, don't come up to me and talk to me, man. Unless you're like a UFC fighter, I feel like they're the only guys you give a fuck a free pass to a rat's tail. But if a dude comes up to me looking for conversation with a rat's tail, I feel like it's just. We're not going to have a lot in common, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it minuses like 3 points.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, like
if you've even if you're a monk and you believe in everything, but you've got a rat's tail, like if you chuck a rat's tail on a monk, all of a sudden no one's going to be listening to him like Gandhi,
Fucking OP.
If you chucked a rat's tail on Gandhi, all of a sudden they'd start questioning everything you ever said.
Man, if I saw a rat's tail on Gandhi, I was like, this motherfucker pushes weight in the background somewhere, man. He's like, yeah, I know you. I see you, man.
Yeah.
Coming out here trying to be a public servant, but that rat's tail takes it all away. You're affiliated with either bikies or
you got
some
something going on.
Yeah, Yakazu or some shit like that, man. So the rat's tail just undoes everything, man.
Evidently, though, if you had the rat's tail on the front with just like the single like line of hair, it's like a ancient, script writer or something.
Yeah, bro. If I saw a dude with a rat's tail plaited at the front.
Yeah.
You know, for me, firstly, I would be like, what arts is he into?
Yep.
Like, is it, you know, like, is he in the creative arts, or is he a painter, or is he all of them?
Yeah.
You know, I would have a lot of questions for that dude, to be honest, man. Question the friendship circle that he has.
Yep. Upbringing, all that sort of
All
stuff.
of it, man, because, you know, real friends will give you the thumbs up, man. So if you walked out of the house with your rat's tail at the front of your fucking face,
Yeah.
I would need to question, like, not just him, his friend and family base.
Yeah.
Because somebody
That caught through the crack. Yeah. He
man.
slipped through the nets with that. Yeah.
So somebody gave him the sign of approval to say, bro, this is cool.
Yeah.
Those people I need to look into, man.
That's true, man. Like, how many times have you tried something out for the first time? You know, you got a new outfit or something, new hat, something like that, and someone's just like, bro, I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah, man, bro. I can remember.
New car? Have you ever got new rims on your car or something?
Yeah, man. You just totally got put in the fucking wanker space, man.
New song that you like?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, you tried to rip it out, man, and you can't because it goes against all your belief systems, you know. I had that the other day, man. I was like in the shop because I've spent my career bagging out Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And then there was a song that came on and she was like auto-tuned.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck, that's how she got me, right? And the song come on and I was like, man, who's this? I like the beat. Fucking Shazammed it, bro. Taylor Swift. And my mate was like, who is it, man? Who is it? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I can't get reception here, bro. You know, fucking had to kill it and delete it real quick, you know, just and
just throw your phone in the river.
Yeah, but throw my phone in the river, burn it, lit it up. So there's some shit, man, that you just can't, like, you got to stick to your guns on, man, and bury it. But I did once, I remember once getting my hair straightened.
Yeah.
And I tried to do it myself with my wife's GHD, which apparently is like a top brand.
Yeah, that's
straightener.
legit. Yeah, I know.
So we don't fuck around, man. We get quality. So I tried it, and basically it looked like I looked like Sideshow Bob, but with my hair pasted down.
Yeah.
And bro, it was so bad. And I just walked around with it. And then my friends were like, "Hey, man, what's up with the hair?" And I was like, "Oh man, it's just trying something new." And I knew that by their question, I'd made a mistake. That I could never undo. and that is something that they will have in their pouch forever.
Yeah, they can't unsee it now.
They can't unsee it. It's ammunition, man. It's a silver bullet. It's like, oh, you remember that one time Benny tried a hair straightener? And straight away, man, I could shiv someone in jail. I could be the toughest motherfucker in the world. But if my friend pops out behind me and says, hey, remember that time Benny used a hair straightener? That's it. It just cancels out that hardcore act, man.
Yeah,
like
dude. It's like when you're feeling fly, like if you've got like a new suit or something like that.
Yeah, man.
It only takes one person to be like, what's up with the suit? And you go home and burn it.
Because there's questions, man.
Yeah.
There's questions where, you know, like people are like genuinely are interested.
Yeah.
And then, you know, there are questions that are like, man, your whole world's about to fall apart if you answer this incorrectly.
Yeah, dude. I remember when I first moved into my first house, when I moved out, you know, on my own.
Yep.
I didn't have much stuff in the house, you know, because I went from like a bedroom to a house, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
And I had this girl over for the first time, and she walks in, she goes, do you always live here? It's like, because I was like literally like a lounge chair, coffee table, fridge with like a 6-pack in it and a bed. That's it.
That's it.
That's all I had.
Yeah, straight up.
Do you always live here?
Yeah, and you knew straight up, man, there was no fucking banging that night, man.
It wasn't. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man, she needed more to be impressed, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I'd be unimpressed if anything happened, because that means that like she didn't respect herself.
Yeah, bro.
You know, if she hangs out with a dude with that little in his house,
yeah, man,
then like she needs to lift her standards a little
yeah,
bit.
bro. I would like to flip it up like this, man. If that woman makes you go out and buy a bed and buy groceries and that's the woman you marry.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean. That's the woman you marry.
What's the fixture?
Yeah, man. Where by one question it makes you absolutely change and challenge your whole fucking view on life.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, okay, shit, I need like celery in my fridge, man, that's the woman you marry, man. That's the formula, bro.
Yeah, if it makes you be a better person, then that's going to always make you that next cut above, yeah?
Yeah, straight
like,
up,
if you
man.
get too comfortable, that's not going to be good for you in the long run, is it?
Yeah, no way, man. I think, like, if my wife's calling me the C-bomb, that's good, man. It keeps me on my toes. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, man, you know what I mean?
Keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, it keeps me on my toes, man. You know, I don't even know. I could tell by the tone, the pitch, you know, like all of that, the variation. What was it? Oh, you C-bomb. Okay. Sounds like I'd left some clothes on the floor.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Or, oh, you C-bomb. All right. That shouldn't have spent that $400 at the casino, you know?
It's never the thing that you just did. It's the thing that you did yesterday which never got mentioned.
Yeah,
and it
bro.
just boils up into this one thing.
Man.
You get, like, if that ever happens, you got to question your last 24 hours of your life and see where you messed up.
I call it my wailing wall, bro. You know, like everyone goes overseas, man, goes that wailing wall and just prays and wails on the wall, man. For me, that is just a brick of all my mistakes that my wife makes me face on the regular, man. And I wail, bro. I wail, you know.
The whale wall back to Gandhi again there.
Back to Gandhi and his fucking Yakazoo plat, man.
His thug life tattoos.
Thug life, man.
Yeah.
How crazy. I love that, man. I think there's something there with that. Rat's tails make everything.
I reckon, yeah. The minus 3 points, that's pretty much all it does.
But for rat's tails and nose rings, and I know you're rocking one, man.
Rocking one, yeah.
But it's the bull nose
You
ring.
mean the middle one? Yeah.
The bull nose ring, man. Because I feel like for me that's a solid, like, check this out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So if I'm talking to anyone, especially like anyone with like a bull nose ring, I'm staring at it the whole time. And I want them to know that I'm staring at it. I want them to feel like I've mad rep it, you know. You wanted my attention, man. You got it,
You got it now.
Everything. I'm going to answer it and then look at your nose ring. I want you to know I appreciate it. You know?
You ever seen the one that goes between the eyes there, just on the top of the nose?
I have, man. I have. Yeah, on Star Trek.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Man, it even looks like the people that get that look at it themselves. Like, if you ever see someone with one of those, it looks like they're just constantly cross-eyed now.
Yeah, man.
They can't stop looking at it.
Bro, there's something about when you're talking to someone and if their eyes keep gravitating, there's something on you. It builds like self-consciousness in you, man. I was like, I'd like this week been in training and everything, and I'd noticed people kept looking at my crutch. And I was like, man, like, not all stereotypes about black people are true, man. So it wasn't like they were, you know, fucking like mad giving me the likes. I went home and realised this morning when I went to put on my jeans, I had a massive hole in it. So these people had been subject to the fucking trauma of my crutch all week. And I was so embarrassed, man, by that. And you know what I mean? So, you know, it's not that I look at things to be like trying to make people self-conscious, but I'm like, if you're going to put steel in your face and then try and talk to me about political science.
Like it's not there, you know?
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and act like you haven't got a fucking bar in your face, man. You know?
Dude, it would be like me not pretending I have a beard, you know? If I just said to someone, like, if someone said to you, like, oh, that's not... Like, I've had people not even say what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They walk up and say, man, I like that. And I'll be like what?
I was working, like, my first job when I come out of high school. I grew up in Mount Isa, man. So this shit old mining town.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I'm
I know
from
Mount
Queensland, man. But mad love to it. I love it. I won't say shit old. But the first job I ever got outside of, like, the bakery, my dad hooked me up with one of his mates and said, can you interview him? And this guy got into a fight and the person took a bit of chunk out of his nose. So his nose looked funny because someone bit a chunk out of his nose. And
Bit it?
Yeah, man.
That's gnarly, dude. What, they fucking bit
Just
it?
bit a chunk out of his nose, man.
Oh,
Just bit it out. And my dad was like, oh, you're going to go in for an interview with so-and-so? It's like, don't look at his nose. Someone bit a chunk out of his nose and it's really self-conscious.
That's good of him to give you the heads up,
Yeah,
though.
man,
Imagine
it's
if he
good.
just didn't say anything.
Absolutely, man. But But what do you think I fucking looked at, man?
Oh, you
The whole
couldn't have
time,
stopped. Yeah.
You know, this dude had a bite out of his nose. So I was looking at the goddamn thing the whole time, you know, and that to me, bro.
Did it have the bite mark?
Yeah, it had and then it looked like some shitty Mount Isa doctor tried to put skin graft on it, man, you know.
off his butt cheek.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
it's and let's all act like that's not there, man. Let's just buy into this friggin', you know, illusion that looks like a normal nose. Like, it wasn't, man. It wasn't the case.
He took Michael Jackson's nose and put it on this.
Yeah, bro. This dude made Michael Jackson look fucking normal, man.
Oh, shit.
It was off chops. But I was mad for the heads up. But I think, that's my dad. And my dad's, I've got two dads, right? They're both funny dudes. They're not comedians. But they have this weird way of looking at the world that's hilarious. And that's what made that was them in a nutshell. And so my dad would make this really whacked up story about a dude with a bitten nose to put pressure on me, because in his head he's going to think it's absolutely funny that one of his good mates and sons sitting in a room and they're all self-conscious about the one nose.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Yeah. Wait, but it's good like I said, good on the heads up, man. I know that sometimes in interviews it's already awkward as it is. Imagine just having to be in one where you just get that sprung on you.
Yeah, right.
Do you reckon doing stand-up helps you with interviews and and speeches and stuff like that?
Stand-up, I think in its truest form, helps you care less about what people think about you. I think ultimately, and when you begin to do that, you can then articulate accurately what you're really trying to say. Because we're in such a fucking woke society, man. We're in such a society where everyone's trying to be heard, and we have individuals coming up who want to be heard, and we have individuals coming up so self-conscious about what they're about to say, whether it be received well, whether they're going to be considered a racist or a leftist or a rightist or whatever. And when you do stand-up comedy, man, there is something about your feelings and soul getting crushed really early in the game, you know?
Yeah.
When you do a joke that doesn't hit,
Yep.
the silence rips out all self-confidence, fucking lights it up in front of you.
Yeah.
And it just says, deal with it. That. You got no choice,
have to.
man.
It doesn't start until you don't do good the first time.
Bro, I remember the first two rows of people's faces the day it didn't work. and it was just horrendous, man. I thought it was just crushing. But I died so hard that it caused me to forget the rest of my jokes.
Yep.
And that deafening tumbleweed feeling. And I come off, man, and comedians are like, yeah, man, it's a tough crowd, bro. Don't worry about it. And I feel like if you get the tough crowd talk from comedians, it's just like, nah, bro, you ate dicks. Bad.
Yeah. Like an honest comedian will go like, yeah, it just wasn't your night.
Yeah.
But like someone else will be like, oh man, the mics were down, there was people talking, people getting checks, you know?
Yeah, right.
They're like patting you back, telling you like, no man, I like the bit about, and that's even better when someone tries to reinforce it and tell you that they liked something.
Yeah,
and they can't remember one of the bits.
Yeah,
you just said that someone would be like, "Oh yeah, I really like the bit where oh, good set, man."
Yeah.
Nothing stuck with them.
Yeah, man. I just love coming off stage and then one of the real comedians just goes, "Hey, man, so good that you ate the bag of dicks tonight. It's so good that it was you and not me."
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's it, man. That's the culture of comedian, stand-up comedy. You're going to do shit. I don't care if you are a 20-year pro veteran. There's going to be a night where what you're trying to say, man, just doesn't get across. And you're going to bite it hard, man. You're going to hit the dust hard. And it's so glorious. Like, definitely as you grow in your career, it's few and far between. But when it happens, man, and you know it's not you, and you just see someone else struggling, there's in you, it's like, yes.
Or even if you've been doing it for a little while and you see someone else that's just starting.
Yeah, right.
And you watch them cop it for the first time.
Yep.
You're like, I'm glad that happened so you know what it feels like.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
some people go for the first, few months and never really go bad.
Yeah, bro.
And they think they got it in the bag.
Yeah.
And then
nah.
the first time they cop it.
I'm like, go to Sydney or go to Melbourne, do some shitty pub where everyone's drunk and they're just heckling the guts out of you, bro. Like, if you can go up there and do your set and rip your set up and just work with the crowd and get off and not let that shape who you are as an individual or walk out of there with any sort of self-esteem issues, then you're ready for the game, man. Like, there's something about stand-up comedy, man, that, like, and this is what I was saying, like, you know, you're talking about radio or anything like that. It doesn't matter, man. Like, when you stop caring about whether you're going to offend someone, like, or that, then that's when you can really articulate what you're saying. And that doesn't mean go out and be an arsehole, man. That doesn't mean, like, get on the mic and just be totally fucking offensive and offend everyone, unless that's part of your act. You know, you still got to be self-conscious of people's feelings. I'm not saying be an arsehole. I'm saying like writing jokes because you think that's what that'll make you laugh. You got to get past that and get to the stage where you're writing jokes because you think it's funny and it's what you believe in.
Yeah, and original as well. Like,
that's it.
Yeah, if you see, I've written a couple of jokes in the past that are similar to something that I've heard before. Yeah, I usually scrap it or rewrite it.
Yep.
Because I don't want to be another comedian doing the same joke about the same situation
and the same topic.
And
that's where I think you have to have a personality, man. Like, if you see me on stage. It's generally how I try to be on stage the way that I am off stage, and I think when you get more comfortable and care less about people, that becomes more prevalent, and you just talk normally, you know, and that's what I love about some of the great, like Paul Moody, you know, who's pretty out there, man, as a comedian.
Yeah,
he's like he comes off stage and he could sit down at the table and still talk, and you wouldn't notice the difference. He doesn't have a stage presence and an off-stage presence. It's just Paul Moody.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Yeah, and that's when you know, like, bro. That's when you hit the stride.
He's comfortable with that.
Be you on stage.
Personality, yeah.
And that's like, you know, as an Aboriginal comedian who's, you know, had a few opportunities, you know, with Deadly Funnies, and, you know, that's been televised and kind of, you know, sort of had a bit of exposure. Like, you get young comedians come up and ask you about stuff, and they're like, you know, what do I do about this? What do I do about that? And I'm like, number one, are you funny with your friends? Like, do they find you funny?
Yeah.
Nah, man. All right, looks like you're going to be a mechanic. You know,
like,
you know what I mean.
Assign something that'll fit better with what you do.
Man. You can't, like,
you might be the funny mechanic.
Yeah,
you might.
Like, you can't you can't fake being funny, man. You either funny or you're not, and that to me, people have a different view on that. But everyone that I've seen isn't funny, man. They're like, they got to work 800 times harder to be that little bit funny. You have to have a funny personality. You got to be funny, and I think two things, man. You got to be able to see the world differently.
Yep.
And you got to be able to communicate. And if you can't do those two things, man, you can't be a comedian. That's just me, man.
Yeah, it's you look at it through the eyes of a comedian all of a sudden.
Yep.
And I've spoken to a couple of comedians that have been doing comedy for like less than 2 years. I think I'm just over 2 years now, but people that are like 12 months or whatever, they said that sometimes they'll look at something that's all of a sudden now it could be a joke, it could be a bit, like something that they would have just glazed over before, now they see the funny side of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's because now it's like it's switched on that part of your mind that sees it through the eyes of a comedian.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say every joke I've written has come out of a conversation, whether it be serious or in jest. It's come out of a conversation with other people. Because to me, I can't sit there and look at the wall and go, I wonder what's funny. I refer back to different conversations I've had with people. And more recently, for me, exploring the 26th of January as an Aboriginal person, I think that there's a war going out there, I feel like, for the soul of Australia on the 26th of January. And I'm trying to write around this concept about what it looks like. And I think because of the politics around it, it's like if you support the 26th of January, you're a hillbilly, racist, Grand Dragon Wizard, Ku Klux Klanman, and if you don't, you're either Aboriginal or too woke or super woke. You know what I mean? And there's comedy in it. There's comedy in these extremes, And I'm trying to find the grey area in this whole conversation where it all crosses over, where all parties can kind of agree on something. Because this is one thing. I had a really interesting conversation with a comedian called Kitty Flanagan once.
Okay.
I won a competition, got to have a lunch with her.
Yeah.
And she's like right in the grey area. She's like, because although those two have extreme views, there is this very small point where it intersects. And both of the parties can go, oh, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. You right in there, you're going to fucking kill. Doesn't matter what the subject is. And I think for me, when I found out the true meaning of the 26th of January, that's my grey area. And I'm trying to write in there. So, and it came out of a conversation with my wife's parents and their generation, which was interesting.
Yeah, dude. Like some of the fucking conversations I've had with people that are like of a different generation. Yeah, it just makes you realize how much we've changed and how far we've come.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
From that.
Yep.
And also, what's even funny, and I've written a couple of jokes about, like within this premise. When people of like an older generation try to sound like they're culturally aware, that's funny as shit, man. Like, I've just seen some things where I'm like, oh, that was your trying to be progressive. Like, you see someone, oh, that's a good try. You had a good crack at it there,
Man, I say this respectfully, man. I married a white girl, man. Like, her parents are like, I think her dad goes back to the First Fleet and her mum's like German. So you're not getting any whiter than this girl, white, bro. Yeah. She's like the pin-up girl for 50 plus sunscreen white, man. She is it. But her parents, Jen, man, like, they're super lovely people, man. Super, never ever felt disrespected or any of that. Like, with them, they are just the most loveliest people you ever meet. But they have some strong views, man, as Australians. And we've gotten into debates with them, and it's so funny to hear their version of compromise. Like, they're like, I'm trying to be super woke here, but don't forget, I was born in the fucking 60s, and I still got some strong views, y'all, and I'm not letting these ones go because I was born in the 60s. And I was like, mad respect, and I was like, we always end up in a bit of a laugh. And
dude, it would be like, imagine if everything flipped on its head, right?
Yeah.
And everything went backwards, and all the views of the 60s came back in the 2060s.
Oh, wow.
All right, imagine that, okay?
Man.
But we still stuck with what we believe now. We tried to tell them that they were wrong.
Yeah.
We would know how they felt.
Yeah.
Because we think that that's what we do is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And then society tells us that now that's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, far out, man. I guess for me, because, with the Aboriginal...
Let's hope that doesn't happen, though.
No, hell no, bro. Hell no, man. Far out shit. Especially for Corey's, man. We don't... we're like, we don't want that.
Yeah.
Ever. Trying to prevent that.
Yeah.
But it's so funny, like... A big example for me is looking at like the whole 26th of January. The majority of Australians believe it's around the First Fleet punching into Botany Bay, and that's not it, man. That was the 18th of January, and what you'll find is that the whole entire 26th of January is based off when you could travel under an Australian passport. We were free from having to use a British passport in 26th of January 1947. And I just thought about the trivialness of a passport, and the fight to keep the 26th of January is over passports.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Imagine like your whole belief system that you were like, man, this is what it represented. And you found out it was over some fucking like, you know, jelly beans or some shit like that's just unrelated and really, really unenthusiastic, or just something not amazing at all, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm trying to write this joke around, like, imagine like a like the Ku Klux Klan, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And kind of thinking, like, if you dug into their history and found out their origins, that what they were really upset about were black ties.
Yeah.
You know, not, you know, I'm trying to make this relationship between extremities.
Yep.
But, you know,
or wearing a color other than white. Like,
yeah, you know what I mean?
If
It's like,
you found something like that, or, you know, showing your face in public. Like, it was just one of those things that it all comes back down to something that they've just taken it out of proportion.
Take it way out of proportion. So, but it's really funny because there were some recommendations made around, okay, well then if we were to change the date, what would be more
Suitable,
appropriate?
yeah.
And one of the recommendations was around the 1st of January. Because, you know, if for Australians who understand the Federation, the Constitution, it was made on the 1st of January 1901. But you could not get any more of a fucking Australian response from that. It's like, isn't that a public holiday already? Yep. Nah, scrap that idea, mate. We're not losing a public holiday over this, mate. You know what I mean? It's so funny, man. I like to see even blacks were like, us Aboriginal people were like, yeah, no, we don't like that idea either.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's like so committed to the public holiday, mate. You know, like, let's have a political debate, but it's not going to cost me a fucking public holiday. That's for sure. We're going to gain one out of this, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's one thing that united everybody was that it wasn't going to be on the 1st.
Yeah. it's like doesn't matter the race war going on, doesn't matter the politics, man. It's like, we will not lose our public holiday.
Yeah.
You know, some fucking Braveheart speech.
Yeah, all this aside, we're not dropping a public holiday.
Some Independence Day speech, man, and on this day.
Yeah, like for freedom sort of thing.
Fuck, man, laugh, eh?
Yeah.
But that's Australia, though. You know,
it's legit. Like, sometimes I just work from one public holiday to the next, man. I'll just go like, yep, all right. Like, I'll rock up on Tuesday after a public holiday, and the first thing I'll search when I sit down at the desk is when's the next public holiday.
Yeah, bro. Hey, because you need hope, man.
Yeah.
And even if it gets you through the next, like if it gets you through the next 3 months, like, come on, man, get that down. Like,
because then it's not that you're not working from one year to the next. You're working from one public holiday to the next.
Yeah,
it breaks
bro.
it up.
And, like, you know, obviously we've had the, like, you know, tragic fires that have come through and ripped through the south, man, and like, nobody down this way has had a holiday, man. It's gone right through Chrissy, man. It's hit a lot of homes. Everyone's been grinding straight through the holidays. So it's just like you need something.
A public holiday.
Yeah, we need more public holidays.
I reckon they should have one maybe in the middle of winter.
Yeah,
to send everybody to down the coast and spend some money down there. Right?
Yeah, bro.
Like a second chance at the middle of the year. And everyone can. Oh, that'd be a good opportunity for everyone to kick off their New Year's resolutions for the second time as well. Man. You know, going to the gym and that.
Maybe they could put some like restrictions around, like, it's only a public holiday if you're going to be in Maria or something like that. You know what I mean?
Bateman Bay.
Bateman Bay, man. All the affected areas stimulate the economy. And, like, so all of Australia is rushing to these sort of
It's a public holiday if you bring back receipts from...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what used to always shock me, man, is, like, I was thinking to myself, because Canberra's, like, the capital of decisions, right? And I was always wondering, like, why is it so top-heavy? Why are all the holidays in the, like, first, like, there's a shit like right at the start of the first quarter of the year. And then I moved to Canberra, where it's either really hot or you freeze your nuts off. You know what I mean? And like, so it makes sense to have all your public holidays in, like, the summer and stuff like that.
So you can use them,
Yeah, but I'm like, fucking, man, let's get some bottom heavy holidays in there, man. Let's get rid of the Queen's birthday, man. Come on. Let's do something with that day and change it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But maybe, fucking, I don't know, man.
Something else. As long as it's a public holiday, man, people will still love it.
I think we've all established that we don't want...
It's a good time of year, June long weekend, mate.
Yeah, switch it up, put it down the bottom end, man. Let's get some more holidays in winter.
Spread them out. Yeah, I reckon. like first Monday of every month, just make it a public holiday for everybody that made it through the month.
Bro, you know what I mean? I think we need to like cancel our ADOs. I think public holidays, I mean, like I'm a small business owner, so obviously there's a side of me that goes, we don't want public holidays. We want everybody working and we want them all grinding.
Yeah.
But
yeah, dude. Makes sense.
But then I'm still a human.
Yeah.
And understand the value of a public holiday. I feel like we're going way too hard on public holidays,
yeah,
man.
No. Fuck, we'll need a holiday after this.
Fucking need to get out of this.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you my Benny stories. This is probably one of the first times. So, first time I ever met you was at Phoenix when they used to run it.
Yeah.
Just straight after you come down from Sydney.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you my funny Benny Egg story, man. One time when we were out doing comedy at one of the venues in town, I watched the bartender pour you a drink.
Yep.
And I was just having sodas. And she said something back to you, and you said something back to her. I can't really hear what's going on. She puts the drink, she just made you a side, makes you another one. And I go up there, and I'm a bartender, man, so I don't want stuff to go to waste.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, whatever that was, just give me that. I don't want to see you pour it away. And she goes, no worries. And she just hands it to me up on the bar, and I pay and walk off. And I take a sip, and this thing's like rocket fuel, bro. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I come over to you, I'm just like, Benny, what'd you order? And you're like, I'm like, is this like a double? And you're like, triple, bros, I don't fuck around. I'm just like, oh, man. This dude's funny off the stage there. That's like a bit, but that was my Benny Egg story, man. And then we've done a few. That was probably within the first 12 months.
Yeah,
but
man. I remember meeting you the first time there, and I don't remember anything, but I remember I do remember the feeling of being at the Phoenix, right? Because I come from Sydney comedy, man. I've grinded, fucking, done some, toured with the
Heaps
Aboriginal
of stuff
Comedy
up
Club.
there, yeah.
When I moved to Canberra, I was like, fuck, man. Like, my comedy career's over, man. I'll be honest, man. That's how I felt.
Well, there's only 3 mics a month here.
Bro,
that's when you came, that's all there was.
So I moved to this city so I could fulfill my commitments around comedy at night. I was fucking performing 3-4 nights a week, man. If I'm not in an open mic, man, I'm getting paid to rep, So I'm just grinding in Sydney, man, like doing stand-up hardcore. I come in, I was like, oh, man, how many open mics are there? And they're like, oh, there's like 2, 3. I was like, fuck, a week? And I was thinking, like, that's bad. And they're like, nah, man, a month. I was like, fuck, no.
And if you don't email, you won't get a spotlight.
Yeah, bro, it's hardcore, man. And then I ran into you, and I was like, oh, fuck, like, you looked normal to me, because you're like, you were the most standout-ish looking dude. And when I met you, I was like, fuck, man, this dude lets me know that there's some personality. And then when I got to understand the comedians, understand the Canberra scene, I was like, this place is incredible. Like, it's incredible, man. And it, like, from what it was to what it is like you wouldn't even believe me, man.
Yeah, just the last couple of years, it's really picked up heaps, and there's been heaps of rad stuff going on with the Deadly Funny scene as well.
Yeah,
like
man.
that's gone even more crazy since you've been here.
Yeah, bro, massive. Like for us, we like again, we want to grow the Aboriginal comedy scene here, and Deadly Funnies is the Melbourne, so sort of like raw comedy. For those who don't know, Raw Comedy is like one of the biggest amateur stand-up comedy competitions in Australia. The Deadly Funnies is that for Aboriginal people.
Yep.
And we like trying to get it. That's where I went through many years ago in 2016 or something, where I kind of got seen and it changed my world. Like, so even on my group of companies, people still go, oh, that's Benny X. He's the comedian. I saw him on Deadly Funnies, So it's helped that side of business that has nothing to do with comedy. So if we get more Aboriginal talent through there and help them raise the quality of their acts, man, like we're going to have a solid cast of like Aboriginal comedians coming through that can help grow the scene, man. And that's perfect for us,
Yeah, no, it'll only get bigger and better.
Yeah, man.
And just comedy in general. Like, I'm not part of the Aboriginal comedy scene.
Oh, bro, you've grown up with us, man. Up
but
Marie.
yeah, man, like down the coast, there's a massive following down there for comedy in general, and just growing up down there's a lot of what I draw from is the influence of like my upbringing, all the funny stories from when I was younger and stuff, and like. I reckon that as that scene rises, it brings everyone up. You know what I mean? Even the non-Aboriginal comedy scene.
Yeah, man.
It brings that up too because people are going out to shows and it's just generally getting audiences to go and watch comedy.
That's right, man. Like in making the transition from being a stand-up comedian to, say, MCing. Like, MCing is a whole cohort of skill sets you need. You can get up, man, and rip a set out and nobody will fuck with you. But when you get up and MC and you got to be like, you make that first step, like your MCing will improve your game incredibly.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, to transition our Aboriginal comedians from being just comedians to like getting them to MC and having that skill set, like again, it's fucking crazy to be able to read a crowd, see if comedians drop them off and pick them back up again, to dealing with hecklers, man, you know, to, you know, helping the venue, man, like with business. And, you know, you're an MC king, man. Yeah. You know what the relationships are like that you got to build. Do it. Yeah, bro. So...
yeah, it's that next level before you start doing like features and middle headlining eventually, all that sort of stuff. It's all in steps.
Yeah,
no one goes from an MC, it goes from an open mic to a headliner. You know,
no, fuck no, man.
And if you do, you haven't got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
People, doesn't matter. Like I could find, you know, like with the music scene, man.
Yep.
A band could just go from the garage and then go, oh, we're headlining this gig. If you didn't open for a band, if you didn't do anything, you can say you're a headliner.
Yeah.
But are you actually a headliner if you haven't done the hard work?
Yeah, man. And that's why I think a lot of there's been a lot of controversy around what they call social media comedians, right? And they're social media personalities who have built their audience off of saying things that are funny on camera just in their room.
Yeah.
And then they hit the fucking open mic scene. And you realize, you know, like, far out, man. Like, there's a big difference between sitting in front of a camera, ripping what you think's funny, to, like, getting in front of an audience that you don't know who's in there, what age bracket, what belief systems they have, whether they're left, right, middle, whether they're off the planet. You don't know shit, man. You just got to raw dog that crowd hardcore. You go in there and fucking read their vibe. Like, there's a big difference, bro. And I think where a lot of them have made it, the following that they've gotten has been due to their social media. And I'm not knocking social media. I think the times are actually starting to change and value that. But there's something about grinding in a dirty pub with someone heckling the fuck out of you and you just learning how to do that, to put steel in you as a comedian.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. You earn your spot then.
Yeah, bro.
You've done your hard. Like, I'll take it any gig. Anyone listening there, hit me up. I'll MC your wedding. I don't give a fuck. But that's because it gives me that experience.
Yeah, man.
I'll come along. Like, man, I've seen, I spoke to Greg Kimball about this, man. He MC'd a music night. He just came up between acts.
Oh, wow.
And he said it was fucking shit. And he just it was rough.
Yeah,
like,
yep.
And yeah, anyone that's heard that episode, listen back or whatever, you'll hear that, like, dude, it was a horror show, dude. Like, it was, but it was something that he had to do to get to where he is now.
Yeah, man. I remember doing a show in a country town that I won't name. And in this country town, man, was like, it's like the deep south for us in Australia.
Yep.
Man. So obviously my pro Corey stuff is not really the flavour of the community. And anyway, literally I was primed, boys. They were like, okay, listen, just so you know, generally an all-white audience, generally late 30s, early 40s plus. And I was like, like laughed and I thought they were joking. Nah, man. The audience
That's what it was, yeah.
The audience could have been a One Nation rally, man.
Yeah.
For real. So I fucking started ripping my pro comedy stuff, man. And there was a point in it where I was like, okay, let's all accept that. In my head, I'm like, I'm going to accept the fact that nothing I say is going to register on their radar. So it clicked over and turned into a protest rally. And that's but I just went like this. Like, I just went, fucking man, I got half an hour to go. I'm just going to do these jokes. I might get a laugh, I might not.
Yeah.
But I'm a pro. Look, I'm a pro. I'm going to finish this strong and finish saying what I believe in. But I'm also going to be super respectful to the audience. And I just finished it, man. And it wasn't. It was a disaster, in my opinion, as a comedian. But the steel it puts in you, man, nobody could take that fucking rod out, man. It's there.
Yeah. And there's way more pride in going up there and doing it and getting through it than just folding. You know?
Yeah, man.
If you fold or you question what you're saying or anything like that, they'll sense it. The audience is like a pit bull, man. They'll smell that blood. They're like a shark, man, and that blood will come at you.
Yeah,
they'll
man.
come at you if they can tell that there's any weakness,
bro. Especially when you start. One thing I learned early in the piece. Again, I'll go back to my lunch break thing with Kitty Flanagan. She said, one thing you never do as a comedian is apologize. She said, so whenever you are making a statement, make sure you believe in it 100%. And for me, that was a really big lesson that I learned because I'm Aboriginal. I've got a lot to say. But will what I say now still be what I believe in 10, 15, 20 years? And so for me, making sure that what I say, I don't just believe in it, that I fucking know that it's what I'm going to believe in 10 to 15 years. And that way, when you go up and you say what you say, it regardless of whatever who says, like whatever they say, whatever they throw at you, you're just like, nah, man, and you got to back up, and you got a backup joke after that and a backup joke. Yeah. Because you ain't going to shake me on what I believe. You know, it's I've learnt this shit.
Yeah.
Know?
Yeah, exactly.
And I've seen a lot of comedians go up, man, and just get folded, bro, on stage because they really either don't believe what they say or they're not used to people just fucking chewing them up, man.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can't stand behind what you're saying, then how you meant for someone else to believe what you're saying? Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, anyway, I reckon that's pretty good, man. We'll wrap it up with we'll get some dates out. What do you got coming up?
Look, bro, we've got coming up, and let me check my phone for this. We have got the Corey Comedy Showcase, which is killer. Now that is on the. Oh, here we go. Sorry, man.
Oh, it's all good, man.
Corey Comedy Showcase. Here we go. We got the 19th of March.
Yep.
And it's at tickets available online. So you could definitely get tickets online. Go to Facebook and just type in Corey Comedy Showcase, and you'll see us fantastic guys standing up there, just ready to rip it up.
Yep.
I would love to have an Aboriginal female comedian, man, in the Corey Comedy Showcase in the year to come.
Yeah.
So it would just be great to see, Deadly Funnies 2021, bring through a strong Aboriginal female comedian, man. Because they got a lot to play with. They're female and they're Aboriginal. Yeah. So it would be cool. But look, let's aim for the Corey Comedy Showcase. It is a bit sausage heavy, but we'll be there, man, showing love about the culture. Get out and about March-ish, April, we'll be filming my actual 1 hour special in Sydney.
Oh, nice.
And This Is Australia. Yep. I've been writing this for about 2 years. Finally got the nuts to get up and film it and fucking put it out there and produce it.
Do you know where you're going to do that?
Yeah, so we're going to do it in a cafe in Redfern, and we'll release those dates once all the everything's been signed, sealed, and delivered. But we're just talking about Australia, man, through the eyes of an Aboriginal person. We're going to look at a lot of the political stuff, and have an open and honest conversation about Australia through the eyes of an Aboriginal.
Yeah, rad. That'll be sick, man.
Yeah,
I'm keen to see how that all rolls out.
Yeah, great, man.
Yeah, but aside from that, dude, thanks for coming on the show. It's your first time for being here, and have you done many podcasts before as well?
Yeah, I've done a couple in the past, so I appreciate you fucking getting us on, man. Like, trying to get my podcast game strong. Ice Cream Productions is one of our companies. It's involved in film and entertainment. We are looking at releasing a podcast and bringing up a whole bunch of things, reviewing movies to interviewing sort of Aboriginal personalities to interviewing allies in the Aboriginal community, kind of things like that, and just getting unique and that. So I appreciate you letting me come on and hone my skills, bro.
Yeah, dude. No, love to have you on again in the future with any other stuff that you got coming up.
Yeah, 100%.
And thanks for coming on and dealing with the heavy mics, bro. Getting some curls in.
Fuck yeah, bro. These are massive, to be honest, man. These mics are the biggest mics I've ever held, man. It's like I'm holding some friggin' black pornos. Ding-along, man. Fucking Mandingo's cock, man, right here.
It's probably the reason that none of the episodes go for more than an hour, bro.
Gonna be Ronnie Coleman up in this bitch, man, with this mic, you know.
If anyone can use these for longer than an hour, you'd have to worry about what they're up to.
Yeah, man. I'll just start talking and just doing fucking bicep curls at the same time, bro. Just getting buff and ripping jokes, man.
Maybe that'll be my workout plan for the year.
Good stuff, bro.
Yeah, man. All right, well, thanks for coming on, and fucking I'll put a link to the event in the post below so that people can head on out to that show.
Fuck yeah,
and
man.
catch
Thank
you there. But fucking thanks for coming on, and I'll catch you next time, bro.
Appreciate it, brother. Bless.
Don't buy me a drink. Just name names.
Yeah,
right. Big time.
Look at fucking throwing out a strip club with your floppy disk.
Yeah, you got a big beard, dude. Shame for shit all day.
Me and my best friend, Marky Worthington.
Keep it simple. Count your money.
That they're not proud of.
Just give me $10.
Hey, right?
Click.
Did you hang up?
No, I just said click.